the third possibility for the lowest priority group to be drawn is outside the plane. We took previously, of course, two cases where the lowest priority group was on the plane either up or on the right or the left. Now, what if the lowest priority group is actually outside the plane? And now if it is outside the plane, as can be shown by a model like this, it can either be outside the plane to the front or outside the plane at the back or at the rear. What if it is at the rear? So something like that. So if it is like that, so how do we do this? Well, let's take examples, and then we can show them using also models. So if we take something like this, now the lowest priority group is at the rear, as shown here by a dotted or a dashed line. And if this is, say, 3, and this is something like 1, and that's 2. Now, if we draw the mirror image of this, then we would get something like that. So that's 1, that's 2, this is 4, and that is 3. So this is again an example where the lowest priority group is at the rear. So it's outside the plane, but at the rear. Of course, we will take, if it is a case where the lowest priority group at the front, outside the plane at the front, after this. Now, if you look at this, now the lowest priority group is actually already behind, if you like. It's already at the back. So this should be the easiest so far. So the way to look at this is not actually difficult. Yeah. So if this is if this model actually represents that drawing or that structure, and if this is number 4, so it's 1, 2, 3. It's already, well, it's ready actually for us. Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3. So this is easily determined to be R, this configuration here. So this is very easy to do. So the absolute configuration in this case is actually R. That's easy because the lowest priority group is already behind. This is the easiest, so there isn't that much of work, if you like, that to be done. This is easy to do. Now, this, if you look at the mirror image of it, now of course remember these two are enantiomers. Okay, this is a mirror plane. They are enantiomers. They are non-superimposable mirror images. Now, the lowest priority group is actually at the back. So if you look at the rotation now, it's 1, 2, 3. This is counterclockwise, and therefore this is S. This should be S actually. Again, that's because it's an enantiomer of this, whose absolute configuration was determined to be R. So the conclusion here, if the lowest priority group is drawn at the rear as denoted by a dotted line or a dashed line, then this is straightforward. You just check the rotation, and if the rotation is clockwise, as determined, of course, by priorities. If the rotation is clockwise, then it is an R configuration, and if the rotation is counterclockwise, it is an S configuration.